Welcome back to the depression session featuring your one and only Mr. WeedMan, Mr. Rolf, and notorious PoolBoy,
PoolBoy.
sexualized, enhanced, induced drugs. Today we're going to be discovering what it truly means to be a man
How so?
sexually.
Really? What are we going to be doing?
By crying ourselves to sleep because no one cares about men.
I do that every night.
How does this
True.
define a man sexually?
Yeah, what does that have to do with a man's sexuality?
Crying at night.
Because if he gets cheated on, oh well, it's a women's win, I guess. Fact?
I don't know about that. Fair enough. Fair enough. What are your thoughts on that, PoolBoy?
I mean, yeah, I will admit it does happen more often than not.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like if a woman cheats, she's taking a W because other women think she's finding a man that's better for her. But when a guy cheats, oh, fuck him, right? He's a dirtbag. He should kill himself. Am I wrong?
Fair, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like that's happened to me more often than I thought.
Yeah.
And to other guys that I know.
Yeah. Fair.
What do you think, Mr. Bullboy?
I guess I do have to agree.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like more often than not. It shouldn't happen that way, but it does.
Yeah.
But
That's
more
what
often
sucks.
than not, it does happen that way.
Yeah.
Though there are the few, well, not the few, of like how often would you say that happens?
Probably like six times out of 10.
Really?
It does happen.
Like the majority. Well, you have to also think.
But
Do
the-
the majority of people come to this consensus?
I say majority do, because more often than not, like, whether you think about it or not, this time is about women's empowerment, and unfortunately, men's problems kind of get flushed down the drain as like a secondary to it. Which I think more often than not, we should prioritize both sides.
Yeah.
I think everyone should get care in that way, instead of not cared about. Then men are unfortunately in today's society.
Yeah.
We're just viewed upon as like we should do, service quota. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, yeah.
By the way, I love how serious we started this.
The first 3.5 minutes.
We truly are in the depression session.
I mean, yeah, kind of. We're sitting here in a dark room.
Mm-hmm.
With nothing but the light of the TV.
What else is on an unfair basis between men and women? I mean, there's a lot of things, but what comes up to mind that really tilts you the wrong
Honestly,
way?
how much women and men care about other women?
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like as a guy, I'm supposed to just carry on, just do what I'm doing. No one really checks up on me.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like, yeah, my friends do check up on me,
Yeah.
but, only because that's the stigmatism today.
Yeah.
Let's just check up on your homies.
Yeah.
But as in, like, women and other, majority of other guys won't check up on you because they don't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes it's kind of lonely. You live day to day, month to month, and you kind of just care about yourself only in the way that'll keep you surviving until, like, the next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kind of taking it one day at a time.
Right. And unfortunately, I just hate how that is. When it should be everyone is, cared about the same amount. And I feel like it doesn't matter who or what gender you are, what kind of person you are. I think everyone should just have, like, a little bit of time for everyone, to care about each other equally.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, prioritizing a certain gender,
Yeah. People should care about other people.
Right. I feel like we don't. I feel like we prioritize what we want to prioritize because we're selfish in our own ways. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed, definitely.
Yeah.
But
Well, sorry, go on.
I will say I get what you're saying. It really is hard to be caring. Not necessarily to your friends and your loved ones. It's easier to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the random stranger. That's where it becomes difficult.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to do that.
To go out of your way.
Yeah.
And I will, let me, at the same time though, is it really that hard to get out of your way to be nice to a stranger? I mean, I guess it depends on how nice is nice.
Look, if they cut you off in traffic, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I'm putting a gun to your temple.
Nice.
I do get what you mean, though. It's like, yeah, some strangers are...
Like, I look at, like, for example, the homeless.
Okay.
Like I said, how hard is it to help them?
Not very hard.
You know, just give them a little, help them out, stop by, give them just cash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could help a lot. But for some reason, we just don't do that.
Yeah.
Now, albeit there is, like, a chance that they'll just use that money for whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what happened. People took advantage of people's kindness, and so people stopped being kind.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know what's crazy? Is the hourly wages for a homeless person, they make more than me hourly.
Oh, like
which
begging?
is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, some of those homeless people begging, they make a lot of money.
And it's
How
like,
so?
So many people donated money.
yeah, people who come by and give them $1, they actually make more hourly than a person who does minimum wage.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because every now and again, someone will come by, drop a 10 or 20, and that's in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds up.
Oh.
So you think about it, they're making more than you are untaxed.
True, and there might be someone who's like extra generous, like give them like a 50 or even 100.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the not the rich, but like the well off people who are.
Guess
extra
what?
generous.
They made $50 a day. You don't even make $50 a day.
Oh,
You
sure.
know, sometimes unless you're working like full time. Which is the case is like, you know, why would I find myself donating to someone who makes more than me?
Oh.
Yeah.
But then that becomes a moral thing. It's like, morally, are you sound enough to like donate to this guy?
Yeah.
Knowing he makes probably more than you do, doing nothing.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I'm trying to like degrade him.
But to be fair, like, is that like every homeless man? Because that's not true.
No, not every homeless man. Like not everyone makes $1 million every year.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. You know what I'm saying? But there are this few people who make $1 million, who, you know, in status quo shouldn't meet the standards to receive money other than what they've made income. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Same with homeless people. They make more than I do, which is crazy, and you know they're not doing anything. Which, yeah, I do feel bad. Maybe, you know, their suffering is what supplies the demand for their money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, most, I say most homeless people have an unfair, like, life. They've been homeless for, like, 16 years of their life. Yeah, I don't know what their suffering's like, but I do know they make more money than me statistically. Begging. You know, doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, there's the few that I do respect that actually go and clean windows, whatever, you know. Make themselves presentable enough to feel like they're earning their money fairly, you know what I'm saying? Instead of taking advantage of the kindness of other people. Take advantage of the kindness of people while feeling accomplished as a person, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's wrong. I'm just saying, like, that's the way I grew up. If I was homeless, I would be cleaning someone's window, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's wrong.
It's funny the balance, the tightrope that is being kind.
Yeah.
There's a fine line with that, man. There really is.
Because there's being too much kind to where you'll be walked on.
Yeah.
Then there's, like, well, kind of what we all just talked about.
Yeah.
Just the difficulty of being kind, like going out of your way to be kind.
Yeah. It's like going to be as kind as you can, but you can't let people walk on you.
And then, of course, there are the cases where, like, a loved one is going really through it, and you'll have to help them, like, 24/7.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, like, forget to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Rare chances like that. I mean, not so rare. It happens to every one of us.
Yeah.
And then we have to make sure, sometimes the people we're helping will get too used to it and become too dependent on us. You know, you all know the shebang.
Sounds like you know that story. You know how that is.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Wow. I related to myself for somehow.
It sucks. I feel like for a majority of my life, like I've been used for like an emotional support, almost in the way that people would turn it against me, kind of like, you know, a Russian roulette. Is like sometimes I'd miss the bullet in the chamber, but then like the advantage is they missed 5 bullets that could have been in the chamber by taking advantage of me and my time. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd spend money on, you know, especially females. I wasn't even trying to be with. I was just trying to help, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just in a way that they would want to take advantage of me because they're women, and then we're growing up in a day and age where women just take advantage of men. You know, instead of just like even just giving them a, you know, an ear to hear from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be big, but I feel like, and even my mom would say, you know, when I was younger, some women will just go out with you just for lunch.
Yeah.
And not even care about you after. They just want the lunch. And it's like, it's crazy to think about, like, people really don't care about you enough. That even, like, they'd even take advantage of your, you know, like, how incompetent you are.
Yeah.
As a person, just to get a free meal. And it's like, how unfair is that when you could just talk to them as a friend? It doesn't even have to be relationship wise.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're kind of like a sponge, you know, you soak up what you hear.
Yeah.
And so if all you hear is, you know, getting taken advantage of, you know, that's what you'll be used to. It's like you grow up with a dad who's not even there. You don't know better than, you know, him not being there. So, like, who is someone else to speak into your life? Like, oh, maybe, you know, your father should be there for, you know, you more often.
Yeah.
Like, how would you know the difference? That's all you grew up doing, you know? So if all you grew up doing is helping, you know, someone else get a step above you, then how are you to succeed as a man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. If you're always helping other people, you gotta stop and help yourself at some point.
Right, you know, and that's where you kind of like dig a hole.
Yeah.
You know, you get into such a deep depression and like, why would you want to help yourself out when you'd hope that someone else that you've helped would help you out of that hole, but in reality, they're not gonna help you out.
Can I ask you a question, Rolf?
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider yourself more of a realist or an optimist?
I'm a realist. I'm a realist in the way like I don't care enough to help you if you're not willing to help yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really wanted some deep advice and they gave you deep advice and you just not take it, how is that my problem when you are not succeeding? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if it comes to the point where like you keep asking but not actually taking in the advice and, you know, receiving it that way, then I'll just block you. I'm realist as in like I don't care enough to make myself feel emotionally unavailable because you're not available for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just like, I'm helping myself out, not being like contingent on like how you're feeling, like, you know, making sure like, oh man, did my advice set in? I'm not worried about if my advice set in. I'm worried about if you're taking it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people ask me like, oh, you wanna work out, and you're asking me like for advice. That's cool. Like I don't mind giving you advice, but if you're not gonna take it, what was the point of you asking me in the first place?
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And another thing, I know, people will give people advice, and they don't take that advice.
Right.
And the person who gave the advice is like, is something wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of just realized that. You're a smart man, Rolf. Good job. Little lesson for all of you. I guess you're not the problem. They are.
Right. I'm only the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a goal, you set it, and you want me to be the middleman, like the mediator of the whole situation, like if you want to look better and genuinely want to look better, and you don't take my advice, then I'm sorry, I can't help you past that. Like it's not my problem anymore. It's you. You're like, are you willing to commit to that situation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like if you ask for relationship advice, you don't take it and you get cheated on. My advice was to leave that person. And you knowing that I was right, but still say nothing in the end, who's really wrong? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I like to gear myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll still help you out in the end. It doesn't matter like what happens or how it rolls out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still want to be your friend in the end. You know what I'm saying? I want to be there for you, like an emotional support. but you know, I'm gonna know that you didn't trust me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just that way. Fortunately, it is, and I wish I wasn't that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to be optimistic, but sometimes like I've been hurt so many times. It's kind of like a routine for me to be afraid.
You know, it's a quote that I heard. Inside every realist is a disappointed optimist.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, I've disappointed myself many times, man. And I think the only time that I've ever actually been committed to something was the gym. Actually taking time out of my day. You know, like, people actually go to the gym, they actually have a schedule. And they meet that schedule, and they meet the expectations in their mind. But when they don't achieve it at, like, the end of the month, they're like, man, that sucks. But you're the real person if you keep continuing knowing and hoping that you're going to look a certain way at the end of the next month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps you in the gym. That's the only thing I've ever had foundation in, genuinely, in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Weedman?
I know you've been really quiet this whole time.
I've just been letting y'all talk. You know, it's a good conversation. So why impede?
Dude,
You know what I mean?
don't know. You got some wisdom bars, man.
It's all good. It's a good conversation. Why intervene?
Give me the fidget toy.
It's nice, isn't it?
Dude, it is freaking nice.
Yo, can I be honest?
Yeah.
About the advice given? I have been that person on the opposite side where people have given me advice, and I don't take it.
I mean, sometimes you just give bad advice, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
No.
He's right. There's some people that give bad advice.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
Were you given good advice and you just ignored it?
Yeah.
What was the advice?
I can't even remember. That's just the kind of person I am.
Fair. Stubborn?
No, I'm just dumb. Like, genuinely, okay, let me tell y'all. A favorite quote of my own making.
So you made this quote?
Yes, the worst part about my life is myself.
Mm.
I hold myself back on so many occasions.
You are your own worst enemy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I feel that, me too.
A lack of apathy, or apathy, never mind.
Apathy is when you don't care.
Yeah, I've had apathy for a lot of things, laziness.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I have ADHD. Well, it's a whole rant thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
But like apparently with ADHD, it's not that you're lazy, it's just literally ADHD.
Yeah.
But I don't want to use an excuse.
You can't
like
defer the difference, which
Yeah.
is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I understand.
It could be a combination of both.
Uh-huh.
Maybe because I have ADHD, it made me more lazy.
Right.
Who knows?
I mean, it's going to, you know.
Yeah.
Like, that's the nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
It just matters if you use it as an excuse or if you use it as a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It sucks. I was apathetic with school. Regret it. It would have made a lot of things right now easier. Not gonna lie.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then here, to roll it back a little bit to the bad advice. I don't know if anyone's ever given me bad advice, or not so much that not me, but like overall. It's not that people give bad advice; they just don't know the situation that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so the advice that technically could work for other people don't necessarily work in this point in time.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I've always told anyone that has like an insecurity, which more often than not most people understand insecurities, because most of the time it's like a spotlight effect, that in like only you observe yourself in a certain way, which no one else actually does. But you think so harshly of yourself,
Yeah.
that it is that way. And it's like, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but if you hate yourself so much, you're not gonna find yourself, you know, attractive in any way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same way goes for like you know, advice. Like, if you think of yourself so lowly, you know, what is some hero in shining armor gonna do for you in advice? You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't think of yourself any better than you do now, how would you expect yourself to, you know, admire who you could be in the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of set expectations for yourself to meet and fail, instead of actually like thinking like, hey, I'm gonna be optimistic about it. Like, what if I do say quote end quote? You know what I'm saying? And then follow through with that. But most people just shut themselves before they can meet that quote, and be like, hey, I actually met that quote. What's next? Instead of shutting themselves before what's next. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Right.
Like the lack of belief in oneself.
Right. If you don't believe in yourself, then what are you gonna do in life?
Mm-hmm.
Be nobody. Right. No one wants to be nobody. Everyone wants to be somebody, but somebodies are everybody now.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're in everybody, then what's the point of being in anybody?
That was a lie.
Because you are just like everyone else. It's a mirror. You look at yourself, you know, you can admire yourself, but then you realize you're not like everyone else. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, especially for an insecure person, if you're unattractive and you see models on Instagram, and that's all you're following, and that's all you're liking, and that's all that's showing up on your Instagram feed, then you're setting expectations for yourself. You're not going to look like that person.
Yeah, the curse of...
9 times out of 10.
What's it called? Comparison.
Exactly. Comparison is the kill of joy. You're comparing yourself to that person. You'll never look like them. Accept it. In this lifetime, you know, you're going to look exactly how you're going to look for the rest of your life until you do something about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And some people don't. Like, for me, I hated the way I looked. I was chubby. I was insecure. What did I do for myself? I went to the gym. And even though, like, after 3 months, I still didn't like who I was 3 months later. Went for another 3 months. I still didn't like who I was 3 months later. Until it's almost been 3 years. 3 years ongoing.
Dang.
I'd probably say I only missed like maybe a month out of the 3 years. But then I'm like, I realize I'm actually liking who I am because of how committed I've been.
Mm-hmm.
And my brain's actually like changing. And I don't know if you know the statistics for someone who smokes and stops smoking. After the first month, your brain goes through like a chemical change where you realize I don't need that substance anymore to survive. Then it goes out of the stasis of like I'm in danger to like I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start recovering. So I believe like if you start, you know, doing something that affects you mentally, like let's say you hate doing the laundry and then you start forcing yourself to do the laundry. You're going to realize, holy shit, that was so easy to do, but because I set an expectation for myself to fail, I never actually did it. You know, now that I'm doing it, it's so much easier to do now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to take up most of the time.
No, you're good.
I'm just, you know, thoughts of wisdom.
Speaking of which, I have laundry to do.
What's that?
I got laundry to do right now.
How long has it been since you've done your laundry?
Wait, what?
How long has it been since you've done your laundry?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. I did it because I was literally out of gym clothes. And I needed to do it because we left in like 20 minutes before I got it done.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Fact. Holy shit. This is gonna be a pretty good podcast.
I know. Is this the longest we've gone talking like super serious stuff?
Well,
Honestly,
there's that one me and you did that was pretty serious throughout the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, that was, well, it's a little...
But even then, it wasn't like that kind of serious.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't like serious.
We still have another 40 minutes to go.
Yeah, we got
We'll
time.
see. And then it's impressive that it's 3 people this time.
True,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After a whole day of partying, watching movies, and getting drunk,
Copious amounts of alcohol.
Yeah.
we are now here on this podcast, and we are now...
WeedMan did weed as well. And drinking.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to abuse substances.
Yeah.
Hey, man. You don't gotta leak the information already known.
We did sexual things to him.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So when he blacked out, we raped him. But we don't want to talk about that.
Wait, hold
We'll
on.
gotta edit that out.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
It's currently 1:05 at night.
Holy shit. In
Yeah.
Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Nebraska.
That's crazy.
Where the fuck's Nebraska?
Where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. We're deep in the city of England right now.
Have you noticed that women won't give you any attention unless there's a reason that you're present in their life?
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, isn't that anyone? Isn't that everyone?
No, what I'm saying is like if you, like let's say you're the man trying to get into a woman's life. If you say hi, Well, so have other like another 25 people, specific men have said to her. You know, they say hello. You say hello. What's the difference? She's not gonna differentiate like who you are amongst 20 other men. Why? Because it takes time. Why would she take her time and actually be like, oh wow, so and so is different than these other 25 guys. I'm gonna give him more of my attention. When you're just gonna end up being generic because you were taught that way. That was the right way to go about it. But so were other another 25 guys were. And so you go in there and you're living the same life as that 25 men. You say hi to her. Oh well. What then? If you're not able to differentiate yourself amongst 25 men, what is setting you aside from those guys? What is she gonna look at and be like, wow, I value that man out of all the other 25? And I think it really is. It's just not caring enough to fit into like the parameters of what a man is in the 20th century. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
And I like to bend the rules a little bit where I just don't care enough to want a spouse right now. I don't care enough to want to be happy to stoop so low to find a woman. I could find a woman. Is she the right woman? No. Am I going to feel bad for being with that woman? Yes. Am I probably going to hurt her? Most likely. But if I set myself aside and act different, be different, live differently according to, the social living of the 2000s, then I'll be different enough to find a spouse where I don't have to look so hard. I don't have to compete for other, attention where the other 25 men are giving her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I live outside of that.
To clarify, the standards of today are so...
It's so close because in today's society, for a woman, it's like hookup culture. Who can I hook up with? Who's next? And if I'm next, who cares about my feelings? Oh well, it's hookup culture. I'm out of the loop. Oh well, she's gonna find another guy. What do I have that the other guy doesn't have? You know what I'm saying? Besides looks, because you can be attractive, but if you don't have a personality, who fucking cares? Nobody cares. You know who really cares? Is the guy you go for therapy. He's the only one who's gonna care, but you're paying him to care. You know what I'm saying? You're hoping in the end that woman's gonna care about you enough to be that therapist for you. You know what I'm saying? Be there for you. But when she's not there for you, who are you gonna vent to? Your friends are only good enough because you don't have that intimacy with that woman. You know what I'm saying? Or that spouse. Anyone that you feel special to. You know what I'm saying? Once that's gone, oh well, what? It's a therapist. You know what I'm saying? You live your life in a construct that's like a web, and once one web is gone, that fly goes through that web, and then it's gone. You have no lunch, no dinner. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to feed yourself, mentally? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry.
No?
You're good. Well, I apologize,
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think, how long have you had this on this mind? Did you just start to come up with this and talk about it on the podcast?
No, I mean, I've been living my life like I don't care anymore. And honestly, I've been the happiest I've ever been because, you know what? I used to post on Instagram, wondering how many likes I was going to get. Posting on my story to see how many people would view it. And then checking like I was someone special. But in reality, I'm just like everyone else if I'm just checking. When I actually can live my life, enjoy every moment I can. I'm living my life in the moment, listening to music all the time, escaping from what they consider the norm, right? And just enjoying myself. I can sit home and actually think to myself this is okay for me because I'm actually happy. For once in my life, I'm happy sitting at home, not worrying about what girl I'm with. Or who's gonna be my wife for the rest of my life. If I stop worrying about that, eventually that person's gonna show up for me. And then I'll be ready. But if I stay worrying about how and where at or when this is gonna happen, then I'm gonna be preparing for someone who's not right for me and end up being hurt even worse than I was before I started.
I see the mentality.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So like you think about like your imaginary girlfriend and how you're gonna get her right now.
Right.
And then you start thinking, well, I gotta do this and this and this to get her.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do find her, this mentality that you built up is unhealthy.
Exactly.
And it's gonna ruin that relationship.
Exactly, because that's what I said. You live by an expectation, and you know that expectation is meant to fail. You're gonna fail every freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you set yourself up for success, and then not worry about when you're gonna get that success, you're gonna succeed every time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not expecting failure. See, I used to expect failure from like every woman I texted. I'll always set up expectation for like, hey, like this might work out, but like I'm thinking like, how am I gonna meet this person? When am I gonna meet her? When am I gonna introduce her? But if I just let that roll and happen naturally, then I'm not worried about when that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like that'll just come. But all the good stuff, like going to the gym consistently, you know, working hard, going to school, you know, that stuff wouldn't be plausible if you weren't single. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say it, but when you're not single, a lot of your time, money, you know, and like working on yourself is all spent on your girlfriend, you know, whatever, your significant other. And then like you're left out high and dry with no expectation to like actually feel better about yourself. You know. And then when she leaves you, I'm not saying she will, but if she does, like you're 10 steps back than you were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anstead of just working on yourself, like making goals, actually succeeding, and letting everything roll into place, then you won't be anywhere good. You know what I'm saying?
I heard I forgot who said it. It's some magic guru from the past, where a relationship where you depend on each other isn't gonna last. The only way for a relationship to work is if you two can literally live by yourselves completely fine. And the whole point of a relationship is to be that, but still choose to be together.
Right.
Because you want to.
Yeah, that's true.
At any moment you can just leave her, or she leave you, and you'd still be fine, but you still choose to be together. That's a good relationship.
Yeah, because it's not contingent on how long you can be with the person. And I feel like a lot of people base their relationships on like, oh my gosh, we've been together for 3 years and we're still doing good. Honestly, bro, if you're doing good, you're doing something wrong. Because if you don't argue with your girlfriend, or you're not, you know, acting out on like who's right or who's wrong, then something's wrong with your relationship. Because I think intelligent people who love each other are gonna want to argue who's right, and that's healthy in a way.
Yeah, I saw statistics actually. There are statistics about this,
right?
Where they studied different relationships. The relationships where they never argued, it was spine sailing every day, they failed. They failed every time. Relationships that argued every day, those failed. But relationships that argued a fair bit, like every now and then, those are the ones that made it. Right. Those are the healthy ones.
Exactly. If you sit down, like let's say your girlfriend wears the pants in the relationship, that's not good for you. Because like if you like let her make all the decisions for you, and then the one time you actually want something for yourself, how are you gonna zip up the pants and say like, hey, I want that for myself? You can't, because you let her lead. You have to both lead, and that's where you guys have confrontations. It's like whose idea is better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
think of it like this: you need a custom-made pair of pants where there's a zipper going throughout the entire thing, and you each have one part of the pants that can be replaced off. So what you do is that you just sit next to each other and zip it up and connect it. So you each have one half of the pants.
Exactly. So, you know, if she's wearing the pants all the time, how are you going to feel like, hey, you know, my purpose as a man isn't being fulfilled in this relationship, so we're going to break up. Instead of being like, hey, babe, here's the pant leg of the, you know, this conversation. You know, I want you to have your say, but I also want us to be like, okay after this relationship.
personal question.
Right.
Now, there is of course, what we're talking about is like dividing the power.
Right.
Oh, because there are two ways to divide power. Like 50-50 in terms of you have like this, like payments of bills of like electrical things, what we're going to eat, what we're going to cook. You are 100% in charge of that, and I'm 100% in charge of this other half.
Right.
Or we're 50-50 on everything. What do you think would be better?
I think not necessarily, because I've seen relationships that were 50-50 contingent on who paid what and how it was fair. But if you get an ice cream for yourself and you both pay half and half for it, who's really benefiting? You know what I'm saying? See, like in my family, we run it as in like everyone has their job to do. You know, who does it doesn't matter as long as it gets done. You know what I'm saying? If the bills are paid, it's paid. It's taken care of. I don't care.
Right.
You know, as long as it gets paid, but as long as it's fair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make the same person do the same thing for the rest of their life.
Right.
You know, if one person gets ahead, they take care of it. But as long as they're not letting that person take care of it every time, then it'll work out.
That's fair.
You know
Because
what
then
I'm
that builds like a unhealthy repetition.
Exactly. Like
an automated machine.
They'd be like, hey, that guy's going to take care of it. I know because he's done it for the last 3 times. And then that becomes a problem. Because now everyone knows they could take advantage of that person because they take care of it every time. See, but if it's a responsibility and that person's supposed to take care of it and they're not home, you take care of it and you say, hey, I took care of it. Then you have to take care of something of mine. Then it's fair. Because now they know that job's not only responsible to them, but everyone who lives in the household. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's fair in its own way.
And even then, I'm sure you can like fine tune everything.
Right.
Every day, like I said, this 50-50 or 100-100 is gonna change every day. It's gonna change daily.
Yeah. I think like as a person, I think you should do things not expecting a thank you.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? If you expect a thank you, then you're setting yourself like for an expectation
or
to fail.
At the very least, prepare yourself to be adaptable every day.
Exactly.
Prepare yourself to be flexible.
Exactly. Don't expect a thank you because you're not gonna get one. You know, if you do something and you wait for that person to notice, there will be that day they do say thank you. That makes it even worth it more than you waited all those other days for them to say thank you.
I will say, you would want to expect like your wife or your husband to at least give you a thank you.
Oh, of course, yeah. But if you hear that every day, what makes it different?
Maybe even a thank you, like that kind of thank you.
Lustful thank you, yeah.
Yeah, sure. A high five thank you from your wife.
Yeah, but there's emotions, and like, I felt like I was even talking to my mother today about it. I'm like, dude, I told my mom, I'm like, I don't know how it is to be loved by someone else other than my family. Because, like, my dad, he didn't say I love you. You know? He was only physical. He would tap me on the back. And I was like, I love you. He never said it. So, I grew up expecting, like, you know, a tap on my back to say I love you. So, when people say, you know, go out of their way and say, like, oh, I love you, dude. Like, I'm happy you're doing well. I don't know what that means. Because that's not what I grew up doing. And so, like, I've lived my life, you know, expecting someone to tap me on the back. Or, you know, high-five me or, you know, dap me up. And then that's, like, an affirmation. Like, it's affirming my, you know, in my mind to be like, okay, well, he appreciates me. But if you tell me, like, outright, like, I love you, like, I don't know how to interpret that as in, you know, anything but abnormal. Because my dad doesn't do that to me. My mom does. And so, if you're like another guy and you tell me, like, I love you, it won't make sense to me because my dad doesn't do that. Yeah, my dad's been around in my life for most of the time. And my mom's been there the whole time. She says I love you. So when a woman tells me I love you, I know what I love you means. But when a guy tells me I love you in like a proud way, I don't know what that means. Unless they tap me on the back.
Question. Does that upset you? That idea?
Or
are you like fine with it?
Like I told you in the start of this podcast, you grow up thinking that that's right the whole time. So when someone tells you it's wrong, like I didn't know better. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know better than like what I already know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had a friend one time tell me, like, oh man, your dad's not there all the time. He's like, don't you get upset? And he's like, well, my dad's been gone like 20 or 75% of my life. I don't know better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how dare you say I should know better when I really don't know better because I was raised that way to not know better. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know better than to be like, I'm gonna let that guy love on me. You know what I'm saying? Love me like a son or whatever. I don't know that. I'm just like all physical, dude. Like if, you know, you're messing with me, you know, punch my arm a little bit, you know, that's what I consider love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know like the whole I love you statement, you know, except from a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like when my ex and I were together, when she said I love you, it mean a lot because that's what my mom says.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when she would say it, it made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But when a
Yeah.
guy says it, like, you know, my mentors, like, yeah, I try to like adapt and be different, like maybe make myself understanding, but I sometimes I don't. It's like, oh, thanks, man. Like that's all I know how to respond with. Like it doesn't. I don't take it to heart all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like the one time that I'm feeling like susceptible to love, then I take it hard. But other than that, I don't really understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're that way, but that's exactly how I, you know, roll around in life. Care to add anything, WeedMan?
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
I'm just soaking it in, you know.
WeedMan's quite literally vibing.
Great conversation. I'm just absorbing it, listening. I talk enough on this podcast, so, you know.
We like when you talk, Mr. WeedMan.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, it just sounds like a sad excuse, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Now you're just giving me work.
How do you feel about that, Mr. WeedMan?
In what way?
Or let me ask you, or actually, no, continue. Did you want to ask him a question?
No, go for it.
Question, because we were talking about like how Rolf's father loved him. How was your dad?
Wasn't bad,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Like he was home every night, but a lot of times he'd be tired, so he'd get home, eat, and go to bed. That was traditionally it, you know. So I never had a great relationship with him, but it was never bad.
Yeah.
You know, like he was always there. I could always go to him for help,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Did you?
When I needed to,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. But I've tried to handle as much stuff on my own as I can, you know.
Yeah.
Just because he's busy with work, stuff like that. So like, you know, anything I could handle on my own, I would.
Yeah. How does that make you feel as a person?
I mean, good but bad. You know what I mean? Because good, because it's like I could handle things on my own. Like I don't really need someone there to live, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But would have been a little bit nicer to feel like I had a little more people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't like hold it against them or anything, obviously.
Yeah. Well, you think about it. You come home from work. How do you feel? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You're tired.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't have any resentment or anything.
Yeah, of course.
It's just, you know, kind of how it is, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish you had more like welcoming reactions from your father?
I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everyone does. So, but I still love my dad, and he does his best. That's all I could ask. So.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like at times, like I'm grateful for that. Cause dude, I've had a house under, you know, a roof over my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Food on my table.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, the emotional side of my father I never had. But to say that I'm like ungrateful for that is like to lie to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like, dude, yeah, I had food under my house. Well, you know, in my house, I had a mom that cared about me.
Yeah.
I had a dad who cared about me. Yeah, he might have cared a little too much sometimes. Because you're trying to make up for the lack of obvious attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you regret saying the things you do say.
Yeah.
But in the end of the, you know, at the end of the day, you can't look at yourself and lie to yourself and be like, he wasn't there enough.
Yeah.
He was there enough. Like, I totally could have had no father.
Yeah, sure.
You know? And then, like, for me to look at myself and say what I've already said, I'd be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because I did have a father.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not have been there for me like I wanted. but you can want everything in the world
Yeah.
and yet receive nothing. You know, and being grateful for that.
Yeah. For some people, enough is at different levels.
Exactly. And I even found myself looking for other fatherly figures for the things I missed out on. My dad taught me how to make money and to raise a family, nothing else.
Yeah.
And so I would look for other father figures to be like, hey, like I want to learn how to love my family. You know, I want to know what it's like to love my spouse.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I learned those things and I learned what it was to be that. But for me to be a hypocrite and say I didn't appreciate my actual father for teaching me how to make money and to raise a family, I would not have known anything from him if he had not taught me those things.
Yeah.
So I am grateful for those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
How do I put it? Well, it's not that. Or comparison, it's like, you happy with what you have.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's not a bad thing.
Right. But if you live your life so carefully, you might have not lived it at all.
You know what's funny? It's funny to think about, but contentment is a skill.
Yeah.
I know it is. You gotta work on it.
Yeah. To be content with a woman is hard. Because a lot of guys fall under pressure to be with someone like superior. But in reality, they're not. And you're missing all the good stuff. You know?
By superior, you mean superior over them?
No,
or
superior as in like you think they're superior.
Like superior to other women.
Right.
Like, I got the 10 out of 10 girl.
Yeah, I got the 10 out of 10, but really that 8 out of 10 was a 12 out of 10. You just never realized it. Because you set yourself with such high expectations for a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're missing out on the good things that make her a 10. You know? Sure, every guy wants a 10. But you can get a nice plain piece of bread with nothing on it. And be like, wow, I'm good 10. No, you're not. Because you end up finding yourself adding stuff onto that piece of bread. Like butter, you know, jam, whatever. Whatever it may be. Jewelry, you know, expensive clothing. You know, whatever. Like lust. You add that on there. Then what? You can't talk to her? How boring is that? You find a woman you can't talk to. She looks pretty. In what, a glass case? You're gonna talk to her through a glass case? It just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Not gonna lie, I think you kind of lost me there.
So you get a pretty girl,
right?
You put her in a glass case like you would any pair of shoes that are expensive. Then what? She sits in the case the whole time. You can't talk to her. But if you get shoes that you can wear on your feet all the time, you know, you put wear and tear on them, and then you have more respect for your shoes than you would for those shoes in the glass case. And the same thing with a woman. You have a nice, pretty woman who has no personality, doesn't know how to talk to you, versus, you know, still a pretty woman, but with personality that can talk to you. You're going to wear those shoes often. But you're going to value the shoes that are in the case. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of guys who do that. Have a really pretty woman, but she has no, like, way to talk to anybody. She's like...
Looks is all she is.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say that, you know, that's the way it is, but it is.
Or at the very least, she looks good, and she does have a personality. It's just not a personality that you like and that she likes in you.
Right. Exactly.
It's like a shoe that isn't your shoe size.
Right. Yeah. True. How do you feel about that, WeedMan?
Yeah.
Or a pair of shoes that don't fit your outfit style.
Yeah. Yeah, that is also a fucking true statement, because you can have all the shoes in the world, but they don't fit the outfit or the color. You know what I'm saying?
You're wearing a suit and tie.
You can't wear
flip-flops.
Can't wear flip-flops.
Or high heels.
But you can have the nicest outfit with a nice pair of shoes that complement you.
Who you are.
Exactly. And
And theoretically, you're also complimenting her.
right. And honestly, I've had many situations where I should have taken that woman and like advanced with her emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm just picking the prettier woman. Because in the end, like, I realized, holy shit, she might have been the one, but I fucked it up because I was too inconsiderate about how I felt towards her. Instead of, like, valuing, like, holy shit, she can carry the conversation when I'm fucking boring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I saw on a YouTube video, like, some guy talking about, like, in the grand scheme of things, both of you are gonna get old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of truthfully
You're
that women age poorer than men in terms of looks and aesthetics.
Right.
Like or not so much that they look worse, but the things that we value in a pretty woman
are gone.
They're gonna be gone.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. It doesn't matter how pretty you look when you're younger. When you're older, you're just gonna look old.
Yeah.
What then? You're gonna go seeking out a younger woman, you know? A lot of guys do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, what you can't help it. If you have lustful thinking, you're just gonna keep thinking about that. Like, who am I gonna be with next that's younger?
I mean, shoot, even you as a man are gonna be
right
deteriorating.
No one looks good in their old age. But if you can find someone you actually love, and you're gonna love them through that, and they're gonna love you through that,
and shoot,
you'll fucking last.
Yeah, and shoot, when you're old, you might not even be able to have sex.
Exactly.
Like, well, one, naturally, you just can't physically do it as often. And for some people, like, health conditions get in the way, quite literally.
Right. Especially at old age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna want someone who will love you through that. What if they're willing to want to have sex with you, but you can't because you're not able to?
Mm-hmm.
And they leave you for that. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you find that bread and butter, you're the bread, she's the butter, you'll fucking make it. And eventually you'll have grandchildren, children, you know, something to look forward to at that age. Because when you get old and you don't have anything to look forward to, like no spouse, no children, no grandchildren, then in life, will you feel like fulfilled as a man? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I wouldn't.
Or not even as a man, but as a human.
Yeah, like continuing life, I wouldn't. I'd just be fucking like boring. I probably want to kill myself. Like, like let's be fair. Like, if I had no expectations to meet in life, no woman, no grandchildren, you know, no children, I'd just be so bored.
In essence, no one that cares about you.
Exactly, and I'm just alone, and I'm fucking like.
Or even more, in essence, no one for you to care about.
Exactly. If I had nothing to look forward to, why look for it anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have that person, it just makes it so much better, easier in life. Because nothing's easy. Do you agree, Mr. Weedman?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have anything to say on that?
No, you're saying everything perfectly. Like, literally, this is just a good conversation, so I'm just letting it ride and listening, you know?
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
I don't know if it's the alcohol speaking, or it was the Valorant matches we played before this.
I don't know.
I was so drunk, I still won them.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Do you remember any of the matches? Like, do you remember what happened?
Slightly. Like a quarter of them.
Damn.
A quarter of what happened the first start of every match.
Yeah, I feel it.
I somehow still got 4 kills every round. I don't know how the fuck I did it.
I remember getting that one really nice sniper shot.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was sick as fuck.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I was fucking fucked up. I couldn't even tell how you did that. Because my brain couldn't render it that fastly.
Fair.
But that was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, do you have anything to say?
No, like I said, I'm just
Any
kind of
questions?
No. It's been a good conversation so far, so I interject, you know.
Do you have any questions for him, Mr. PoolBoy?
Questions. Not necessarily a question. Well, a question I have my own answer to.
Right.
But I guess this goes for both of you. What is your ideal woman?
In what way?
In any way. What do you think is an ideal woman?
I mean, someone that cares, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Someone that's supportive of what I do. Mainly that.
Right.
Just being supportive and whatnot. Trusting, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot, honestly, you know, of course, attraction is a huge part of it, and I hate when people say like personality over attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're lying to yourself. You know, you're the 1%. You know, that doesn't think attraction plays a key of it. Like if you find someone attractive, and yeah, they might not be attracted to someone else, but if they're attracted to you and you're attracted to them, then you're attracted to them. You know what I'm saying? Like that plays a huge part of it. But then there is other part where it's personality. I feel like, you know, if she's pretty, but she can hold the conversation when you can't, then I think like she's a 10 either way. Cause like I've met a lot of women, been in relationships with a lot of women who don't know how to carry a conversation. And it's so fucking boring, dude. It's so fucking boring. Cause you'll be talking to her, and she'll give you the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck, why am I in a relationship with you if you just don't give a shit? But versus a girl who can, holy shit, she's like fucking sweating her ass off in Valorant. She's carrying your fucking ass. You know, you get that fucking 12 piece and they got the 5, you know, whatever, 5 wins and you got the 12 wins. That's the girl you want.
I guess that is one thing you want. Just someone who you can talk to.
Dude, I fucking love talking, bro. I love talking. I'll talk anyone's ear off. You know,
especially like smart conversation.
Especially smart conversation. Shit no one else talks about. You know what I'm saying? Like music. When we actually get into fucking music, and I'm talking to you about like lyrics and shit, and where it was filmed, and how they filmed it, and you can fucking bounce that back at me. Holy fuck, dude. Like let's say like, all corny shit aside, you know, if I said something fucking stupid and a girl actually like related to me. I'd be like, holy fuck, I'm in love with that girl. 'Cause no other girl's ever done that to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've had a lot of generic women, you know, do the same thing that they always do to get my attention. But when the actual girl, like, goes out of the way and, like, I don't know, says a funny joke and I actually fucking laugh, then she already has me around her finger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really fucking funny, and I set a high standard for myself because I am actually fucking funny. You know, I can make people laugh, but when she can make me laugh and giggle, she can make my ass clap and jiggle because I'm already in for that shit. You know. Am I wrong?
No.
You're not.
If she can make you laugh and giggle, you know what I'm saying? I just think it's so much better, bro. I fucking love a girl who can communicate well. And relay the information.
You know what's funny? I have a current girlfriend.
Right.
And I find our relationship a little bit in the opposite end of what you want. We can sit there just cuddling each other for hours and I will be the happiest man alive. And that has happened. We will say nothing. And it's great. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, for me, I just want a girl who can carry a relationship. You know, sometimes I feel like I am unforgiving. You know, I can be, you know, an asshole sometimes. But I feel like I need a woman who can humble me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really do need a woman who can humble me. Because right now I feel like I play God in my life sometimes. But I'm like, holy shit. I should actually step back and realize I'm not that kind of guy. I need a girl to humble me. You know, I feel like I should be tied down, you know, in a happy relationship, but then I don't. All the right girls, all the right, you know, the wrong times, all that kind of shit. It always happens to me. I feel like I'm like a lost cause almost, lost puppy.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well, how do I put it? Because you mentioned how like you would let something fall. It like right now you're not looking for a girl.
Right.
But if one landed in front of you, you would go for it.
Yeah. If I knew for a fact, she was the one. Mm-hmm. She actually like gave me the attention that no other girl has. Sure, I would. Mm-hmm. I'd fold. But no girl has. Mm-hmm. No girl has made an attempt to flirt with me, or made an attempt to actually want to hang out with me. No girl has. I've actually had to simp. I had to simp for a girl. You know what I'm saying? For every girl I've been with, but I've never actually sprung the question, do you want to hang out or anything? I let them do that. And so I don't know what the liberty's like of actually asking a girl out, as I've never actually have. And so I don't know, if I had the opportunity to ask someone out and I knew it was right and I wasn't gonna get rejected, I'd fucking do it. I'd do it. But it's the unknown that keeps me from doing it.
Yeah, because I was about to ask. I mean, coming from personal experience of being so mellow, being so laid back in the sense that I had that exact same mindset. I'm going to let him fall in front of me. And because of that, a lot of opportunities kind of swift past.
Right.
Because sometimes the opportunity is just knowing it exists. Uh-huh. But you have to take the few steps to actually reach for that opportunity. You have to see it. And not just see it, but you have to make it an opportunity. If realistically, opportunities, you don't see opportunities.
Right.
You see a chance to make an opportunity. Uh-huh. You see, what's funny? I still think about I always remember that one girl that we saw at that, what was it? Waba Girl?
Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, we went to Waba Girl one day, and there was a cashier there.
She was so pretty.
Mm-hmm. And, in a scenario like that, if you found her so pretty, and it's a complete stranger.
I should have asked.
You probably could have asked.
I probably could have asked, yes. Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Things like that. It's not necessarily that an opportunity will just open up. Like she would talk to you.
Right.
Realistically, that's unrealistic.
That's not gonna happen. It's not. But I've set that standard for me to fail. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I did. And it's so hard to get out of because I already set that standard. And that's why I say what I say. Don't do that, because you're just setting a standard for you to fail. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was fucking phenomenal. She was so pretty. But because I set that standard myself, I was gonna fail.
It also was at a very awkward time for you.
It was an awkward time. It just got broken up with. Mm-hmm. To be fair, a couple of days after.
Yeah.
It's and then that's the other thing. You bring that baggage into your relationship. Mm-hmm. How's that gonna make the other person feel?
Yeah.
That's not good, man.
That you tell her, hey, by the way, I just got out of a relationship literally 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you're my rebound. That's not cool, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, how romantic would it be to go back to that Waba girl, find her, and tell her, ask her out, and then a month into your relationship, you say, hey, I haven't forgot about you half a year ago.
Damn. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Thank you, PoolBoy.
So we're going to Waba girl?
Perhaps.
Let's go right now. She'll be there right now, guarantee you.
Well, she'll be at the house. I put a tracker in her car.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. You can't let the good ones go. Well, anyways, do we have any closing remarks, boys?
Oh, yeah, it has been an hour. Shoo. This has been a great podcast.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal.
This has been the most depressing session podcast.
No, it's fine. If I wanted to talk, I would have. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I didn't have anything I felt that was worth adding. You talk enough. So, yeah. I didn't have anything that I felt was worth adding.
Wait, no, I didn't mean that seriously.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you
Sorry. Yes, you did. No, that's fine. I don't mind. If you boys want to talk,
That was remarkable.
Yeah.
You like smart conversations. I like to think we just had an entire smart conversation this whole hour. Damn, This was good.
I'm deep like vagina.
Nice. 7 inches.
Yeah.
You know, I hope all this got picked up because we're very far away from the mic.
Well, that sounds like a new
it
problem.
is picking up pretty well.
Yeah, but it could cut some stuff out.
It could. Well, anyways,
Imagine
this has been
this whole episode is unusable.
Oh my god, I'd kill myself. Actually, I picked that up pretty well, I'd say.
Oh, that was me laughing. That was my super high pitched laugh.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like normal talking, like right now. You know what I mean?
We'll
Like,
fucking figure it out.
Oh yeah, I'll make it work. I'm just, you know.
Anyways, this is the depression session. Finish it off, WeedMan.
Alright, well thank you guys for watching another episode of the Depression Session podcast. Come back next Monday at 12 p.m. for a new episode. Come back this Friday at 12 p.m. for a new gaming video. We upload every Monday and Friday at 12 p.m. Please give us a follow. We need people. That'll do it for this week. We hope you guys have a good one and you guys stay safe out there. Remember that just like this podcast, depression is just a session and it too soon shall pass. We will see you guys next week, Monday at 12.
Bye.
Damn, what an expert outro.
Bye.
Bye.